Hello, passionate Celtic fans. Today, we dive deep into everything happening at the club, from the latest managerial updates to the ongoing developments with the fans collective. It's been a whirlwind of a week, and there's so much to cover, so let's get straight into it. First off, there's the matter of Wilfred Nons, who looks set to take charge for the upcoming Dundee game midweek. While his official appointment date remains a bit uncertain, all signs point towards him stepping onto the touchline sooner rather than later. There's been plenty of chatter about what he brings to the table, and over the next weeks, we'll learn even more about his methods, his mindset, and how he plans to lead Celtic in what's shaping up to be a pivotal period for the club. For now, all eyes are on that Dundee fixture, as it's likely to provide the first glimpse of Nons' style in action. In conversations with insiders and those who have followed Nons closely in the States, it's clear he's a manager who values unity, camaraderie, and a strong sense of team culture. One notable example from his time in the United States with Columbus is how he instilled a sense of family within the squad. Players would dress in suits for every home match, walk into the stadium together, and even stay in hotels as a unit before big games. It might sound like small gestures, but these actions create an atmosphere where every player feels like they belong, like they are part of something bigger than themselves. When Columbus lifted the MLS Cup, Nons was celebrated not just as a coach, but as a part of the team, with every player wanting to include him in their triumph. It's the kind of culture that builds loyalty, discipline, and resilience, and it's something Celtic fans will be keen to see translated to Parkhead. Despite the excitement around Nons' arrival, there's no denying the challenges that lie ahead. Celtic are currently facing pressures both on and off the pitch, and the new manager will have to navigate a squad that has seen its share of turbulence. From players testing boundaries to dealing with injuries and suspensions, the squad's depth and cohesion will be tested. Yet there's optimism that Nons' approach could galvanize the team and rekindle that bond between fans and players, creating a united front in pursuit of domestic glory this season. His ability to maintain discipline without breaking the spirit of the squad will be crucial, and it's a fine balance that could define the trajectory of Celtic in the coming months. Meanwhile, off the pitch, the club's recent annual general meeting has shed light on shareholder sentiment and the governance landscape at Celtic. 17 resolutions were put forward, with the first 15 which originated from the board, passing overwhelmingly with near-unanimous support. These largely focused on standard operational matters, but the real intrigue lay in Resolutions 16 and 17, which were proposed by the Celtic Trust and other minority shareholders. Resolution 16 called for a 3 to 5 year strategic plan to be published, detailing footballing objectives, financial targets, and performance-linked accountability. Resolution 17 called for a vote of no confidence in the current executive leadership, including the CEO and chairman. Both resolutions received minimal support, just over 1%, highlighting the weight that larger shareholders carry in the voting process. Dermot Desmond, through Line Nominees, holds a controlling stake, and when aligned with other major investors, the board's recommendations dominate the outcome. The reality is that while there is significant discontent among ordinary fans and smaller shareholders, their voices are largely drowned out in formal voting structures, leaving the board with the power to steer club policy with minimal opposition. Resolution 16 in particular drew attention because it highlighted a call for transparency and long-term planning that many fans feel has been lacking. The Celtic board, however, recommended against publishing such a plan, citing their existing processes and retaining discretion as justification. While the rationale may be sound from a corporate governance standpoint, it underscores the ongoing tension between the club's leadership and its supporter base, who increasingly demand clarity on both football and financial strategy. The board maintains that annual reports and key performance indicators provide sufficient insight, but for many, this feels like an inadequate response to calls for more meaningful engagement. Parallel to these governance issues, the Celtic Collective continues to play a pivotal role in mobilizing supporters and articulating concerns. The recent meeting earlier in the week highlighted ongoing discussions about potential protest actions, match-day demonstrations, and broader campaigns aimed at holding the club accountable. There's a clear emphasis on inclusivity, ensuring that any actions reflect the views of the wider Celtic support rather than being perceived as driven solely by Green Brigade or other ultras. The collective is exploring a range of measures, from coordinated displays at home matches to petitions and open letters, all designed to signal a unified message from fans seeking improvement at Parkhead. The collective also discussed expanding the Not Another Penny initiative, which has focused on merchandising and related revenue streams, to encompass sponsors and affiliated organizations. This initiative has gained traction because it directly challenges how the club operates commercially while highlighting fans' frustrations over perceived mismanagement. The importance of clear, consistent communication was emphasized, with suggestions to produce infographics and visual material to demonstrate the breadth and scale of the movement. By making visible the collective's reach, organizers hope to counter the narrative that only a vocal minority is dissatisfied, showing instead that a significant portion of the fan base supports calls for change. At the same time, the collective is conscious of not alienating segments of the support by focusing excessively on defending the Green Brigade. While the group has been targeted by the board for its outspoken stance, the broader aim is to protect all supporters' interests and ensure that fan voices are heard in club decision-making. Discussions also covered matchday actions such as red card displays, marches from historically significant sites like St. Mary's, and coordinated banner presentations designed to visually and symbolically express fans' desire for accountability and improvement. The next home game against Dundee could provide the first real opportunity to see some of these measures in action, with banners and displays potentially serving as a statement that the wider Celtic support is engaged and vigilant. Throughout all of this, the message from the collective is one of proactive engagement rather than reaction. Plans are being developed to establish a structured approach to campaign messaging, protests, and organizational frameworks, ensuring that initiatives are strategic, visible, and inclusive. The aim is to create a sustained dialogue with the club, maintaining pressure where necessary while highlighting constructive proposals for the future. It's a delicate balancing act, given the intensity of emotions and the high stakes involved, but the dedication and effort of those involved in the collective are clear. Many are volunteering their time on top of other commitments, and their work is central to keeping fans informed and coordinated during what remains a highly dynamic period at Celtic. As we move forward from the AGM and the latest Celtic Collective meeting, the story at Parkhead continues to unfold in ways that are both challenging and fascinating for supporters. One of the key developments to watch is how Wilfred Nons settles into his new role and begins to imprint his philosophy on the squad. From all indications, he's a manager who thrives on discipline, but also understands the importance of building trust and camaraderie. Players are expected to feel part of a collective mission rather than just individual performers, and it's a mindset that could be transformative for Celtic if executed well. There's a sense among fans that the squad has underperformed in recent months, not solely because of tactical issues, but due to a disconnect in team spirit and cohesion. Nons' arrival brings hope that this can change and that Parkhead can once again be a fortress where players and fans move in harmony towards shared goals. One of the fascinating aspects of Nons' approach is how much emphasis he places on culture. While he won the MLS Cup in the United States, what stands out most from those experiences isn't just the victories on the pitch, but the culture he cultivated behind the scenes. Players who may have been difficult or high-profile egos were kept in check without losing their drive or ambition, demonstrating a rare blend of firmness and empathy. This ability to manage personalities is vital for Celtic, particularly given the scrutiny and pressure that come with managing a club of this stature. Fans have been vocal about wanting more than just results. They want a team that plays with pride, unity, and identity, and that starts with the environment created in the dressing room. If Nons can successfully embed his ethos, it could mark a turning point for the season and for the club's longer-term trajectory. At the same time, the off-field situation remains complex. The Celtic Trust and the wider fan base have been persistent in raising concerns about governance and strategic planning. The lack of a published medium-term plan frustrates many supporters who want transparency on how the club intends to compete domestically and in Europe. While the board maintains that its current processes and annual reporting are sufficient, the reality is that a growing segment of fans feels disconnected from decision-making. This is compounded by the Not Another Penny campaign, which continues to highlight dissatisfaction with how financial and operational matters are being handled. The campaign, initially centered around merchandising and revenue streams, now has the potential to expand into sponsorships and other areas, signaling that supporters are prepared to take meaningful action if they feel their voices are not being heard. The balance between protest and engagement has been a recurring theme in the discussions of the Celtic Collective. Actions at matches, coordinated banners, marches, and visual statements are all being considered carefully, with a focus on ensuring that they represent the broader fan base rather than any single group. This is crucial because while the Green Brigade has historically been very visible, the collective understands that Celtic supporters are diverse, and it's important to demonstrate widespread backing for reform rather than isolated dissent. The aim is to show the board that the club's governance and strategic direction are not just points of debate among a few vocal supporters, but are concerns that resonate across a wide spectrum of fans. The success of these initiatives will depend on communication, coordination, and the ability to mobilize supporters in a way that is constructive, yet impossible to ignore. One of the most interesting elements of the collective's strategy is its focus on proactive communication. By developing infographics, reports, and campaign material, the group is able to quantify and demonstrate its reach and influence. This transparency not only strengthens the legitimacy of their actions, but also provides a clear picture of the scale of supporter engagement. In a club as large and historically significant as Celtic, It's essential that fan voices are structured and visible. Ad hoc complaints or scattered protest actions rarely yield change. By taking a systematic approach, the collective can frame the debate, highlight key issues, and maintain pressure on the board while still advocating for solutions that benefit the club as a whole. It's a nuanced strategy that requires foresight, organization, and an acute understanding of the political landscape surrounding Celtic Football Club. Looking ahead, the next few weeks will be pivotal for both the team and the supporters. On the pitch, Nons will be putting his methods to the test, managing a squad that has had its fair share of turbulence and attempting to secure victories that can reignite confidence among the fans. Every match, particularly those at home, will be under intense scrutiny, with supporters eager to see signs of cohesion, discipline, and flair. Off the pitch, the actions of the Celtic Collective will continue to develop, with potential campaigns, open letters, and matchday demonstrations highlighting ongoing concerns while advocating for positive change. The dual narrative of performance and governance is interwoven, and both aspects must succeed for the club to move forward in a sustainable and satisfying way. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers have been swirling round Glasgow, but the latest murmur has hit like a thunderclap across the East End. Celtic are said to have sealed a sensational move for Josh Doig, a deal that folk inside the club are calling nothing short of season-changing. Nothing has been officially stamped or shouted from the rooftops, yet the buzz drifting out of Lennoxtown feels far too loud to ignore. Supporters milling about outside the ground have been chattering away, trading knowing looks as if they've all heard the same secret through the grapevine. Doig, long admired for his pace down the flank and that strong, confident stride, has apparently been the name on Celtic lips for weeks. Now, according to those wee snippets of information slipping through cracks in the wall, the fullback has given the green light. Some reckon the coaching staff have been grinning just a touch wider, while players are said to be quietly impressed by what they've seen behind closed doors. It's the sort of signing that stirs up the old excitement, the feeling that something is shifting in the squad's rhythm. The rumour mill claims that once Doig pulls on the green and white, the team's shape could tilt entirely, offering fresh width, quicker transitions, and a dash of swagger the support has been craving. There's even talk that certain tactical plans had been sitting in a drawer, waiting specifically for a player with his profile. Whether that's wishful thinking or inside knowledge, no one seems keen to say. What's clear is the atmosphere. Pubs around Parkhead have gone full tilt, punters leaning over pints to confidently assert that this is the breakthrough moment. The mere possibility of Doig arriving has breathed a spark into conversations that had grown a bit dry over recent weeks. Now, every hushed corner feels alive with speculation, every passing mention causing heads to turn. If the whispers prove true, Celtic may well have pulled off the coup of the season, and until someone steps forward with a formal announcement, the city will keep humming with that unmistakable tune. Something big is brewing, and Josh Doig might just be at the heart of it. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.